This is KMTV. My name is Nathan Charles, and I have two distinguished females from uh, the National Association of Cape Martinians in the Americas, and they are going to be talking about unfolding events they have planned for their activities. Again, this is a special interview with officials of the National Association of Cape Martinians in the Americas, and they are going to be discussing unfolding events within the organization and planned activities. So I have with me Fatima Fahnbulleh and Fannie George. Welcome, ladies, to this KMTV special interview.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nathan.
How you guys doing today, or ladies doing today?
Well, I'm fine.
Same
Yeah.
here. I'm doing okay. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Bless God for life. So let's get this rolling. National Association of Kematinians in Americas. Tell me about this group first.
Okay. Well, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Fatima Fahnbulleh. I am a former Peace Corps volunteer. I have my bachelor's in public health. I am the youth chair for the Librarian Association here in Indiana, and I am part of the National Cape Martinians in Americas, short NACA. So um, I would like for Fanny to also introduce herself, and then we'll get into NACA.
Fannie George, it's yours.
All right. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Fannie George. I am from the Ohio chapter. I am currently a phlebotomist. I work at the Ohio State University. I am a mother of two. And yeah, I am second year into the NACA, into Grand Kitmon movement. So,
So let's
yeah.
go into NACA. What is it about? What are you doing?
Oh, so Fatima, you want to take it?
Go ahead, Fanny. I'll take it.
So, like I said, this is my second year actively, or going on second year actively into. I'm so sorry. Actively into NACA. I just joined. So right now in the into the Ohio chapter, I am the birthday shout out lady, if you want to call me that. I usually send out birthday shout outs for people's birthday. And I was contacted by our president to be a part of this great youth summit for this year. So the NACAV is just all about bringing youth together.
Fatima?
Yeah. So I've it was of recent that I actually became more active with NACA. Even though when we were young, you know, you don't really
Oh,
have to say.
when we were young, when we were
Yeah.
we were
Well,
young.
growing up at the age of like 13 to,
Okay.
18. Yeah, because I am still young. But, during those ages, you really don't have a say in a lot of things. But our parents, got us involved into, NACA affairs. We, went to conventions. So as I became older, I started taking more interest into Liberia, and also uh, came back to NACA. So right now I am with the Indiana chapter. I am the secretary for the Indiana chapter here. So the whole summit is geared towards bringing the younger generation to at least get to know Kip Mao, get to know their roots, have some sort of connection, because most of the young people grew up here, or they were born here, and they don't have no affiliation with Kip Mao or even NACA. So at least, the summit will introduce that to them.
Fanny, do you care to elaborate more about NACA?
Yes, I can mostly speak on the youth side. I haven't really gotten into the main course yet, if you will. We are establishing this youth summit to, like my colleague said, to enlighten young youth about our background, because some of us, like she said, we were born here, some of us born back home, but we came here when we were younger. We know nothing about our heritage, and we're just trying to instill that into us just so we don't forget where we came from. And so because we having kids too of our own, so we're trying to I'm sorry, I'm using my phone today. We're trying to keep that legacy alive, basically. So we are just trying to bring as much, educate as much into the society so this can keep going for years to come, because our presidents, our other leaders have lead the way so far, and they have played a great role for us. So we are just following that and keep leaving trails behind. So this is all that's mostly the aim of this youth summit.
So, Fatima would like to know more. What are some of the activities gearing up you have planned for this summit, and who are we expecting to attend this summit?
We cannot hear you.
Uh,
Okay.
right. So the summit is virtual. So we have put together a beautiful PowerPoint that will be presented by me, Fannie, Afriche, and the president of the National Cape Mountainians organization. And we're gonna have music. We will go over the history, the tribes, all that sort, all that other aspect surrounding Kip Mount, and also we'll have the president talk about NACA, when it was formed, what we do, and everything like that.
Fanny, do you care to add more?
Yes, we are like she said, we are a group of people that are coming together to make this happen, and we are able to make this live. AT, she's doing a great job. And also we are also inviting what's his name, Mr. Sherman from Liberia
Mhm.
to be a guest speaker on that day. He's known for his vast trips and all that. So he's coming to educate us more, to give us more, like just to give us more information on that. So we're looking forward to that day. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of information put out there. It's gonna be a lot to learn. I'm still doing research. I'm still, like I said, I don't know nothing really solid things about Kitma yet, and I'm really looking forward to that day to learn more and see how best we can all go with it and live by it.
Yeah, and also we'll have games, so people will be able to win prizes, and yeah.
Yeah,
What kind of games are we talking about?
some trivia questions.
Tum keke ya tum, or nafo lapa.
No, no, you can't play Lapa or virtual. I wish.
Everything changing. People play football virtual now, so
That's
Yeah.
true. Actually, that's for another that's for another day. But yeah.
so are you also involving young people from in Cape Mountain, and why are you fighting to have that connection with children in the US to know their heritage? Is there any major reason? Do you want to take them back? Do you want for them to support their kids? What is it?
Okay. So a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, has said before, he believed that when people come here or when we are growing here, We tend to go one way, just live by the American way. We forget where we come from. So this would help us more into not forgetting where we come from. And he actually wrote something on a confused citizen, he called it. Because when we come here, we are a citizen from Liberia or we are a citizen from wherever country we came from to here. And he called it a confused citizen because when we come here, we forget where we came from. And we just basically on one side, which is the American side. We don't want to eat African food no more. We don't want to listen to African music anymore. We don't want to do anything African. And especially when we was in high school back in the day when people used to call us all kinds of names, we would try to like drift away from being called African. So the only reason we are doing this just to make us to say, hey, you came from somewhere. Your forefather left something behind and you have to carry on that tradition. You have to know where you came from. Your roots is all we got. Our roots is all we got. We can get the best education here. If we don't know where we came from, there is nothing for us. So that's why our presidents and our leaders are trying to make us come together so we cannot forget where we came from because it's very important. If you forget where you come from, wherever you're going is not going to be built correctly.
There is a famous saying. They said when Ghanaians are leaving the home country, they say, I'm going for London. When Liberians are coming into the US, say, I'm going to the US. So I'm concerned, Fatima, what are you aiming at for young people who are born here or those in Liberia who will come here young? What are you aiming for?
Well, it's many things. It's it's connection, right? Since I was young, our dad always tell us not to forget where we're coming from. We even have an organization called the Liberian Children's Education Fund, and what we do is we collect school supplies and send it back to schools in Liberia, mainly Kitmouth. So growing up, doing things for Life and also NACA, it just made me to not forget that I'm African. And when I went to the Peace Corps, even though I couldn't serve in Liberia, but I was in Zambia, and I just got more involved with the people there. So when I came back to the States, that's how come I got involved in the Liberian Association. I was secretary assistant. I even inspired younger people within our community to come out, because some of them are, I guess, shy. They are embarrassed and things like that. I said, no, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. Liberia is where we're from. If we cannot put ourselves together here as young people, then um, who's going to take over the next generation within our community, and also empower those that empower each other back home as well. Um, so yeah, so my whole thing is to just connect with the young people back home.
So, key from your message is culture and connection. Fanny, what kind of cultural discipline are you going to be teaching these young people?
I would say for one to always try to speak your language, which I don't do, which I don't know how, and I really wish I know how. I would love to speak the language or the dialect, if you will, to just not forget about that.
And taking over the community. So, the community in the USA, so you want them to get involved into projects, developmental issues. What specific do you want? Is there a loss uh, within your community in terms of identity crashes, culture, a way of life, which is culture once they are in the U.S.
I'm sorry. Say your question again. I'm sorry.
You spoke of culture. I'm saying, and allowing your young people to take over the leadership within the U.S. So, is there a gap in leadership, and is there a gap in knowing your culture?
Of course, there is like for example, me personally, I am not big on appearing on stuff like this or speaking out to people. I'm more of the person that always in the background or shy, if you will. So that takes away from me being a leader. That takes away from me that fear alone pull me back. It pulled me back because I should be out there doing something bigger or better. But instead, my fear is keeping me back. So I'm hoping, my hope is for us to go out there. If I put myself on the front line and my friends in Ohio or anywhere else see me on this platform on Saturday or whenever, to speak out, to encourage youth to come around, to come together, to make this happen. This is not just going to end here. We hopefully continuing this because this is not just a one-time thing. So today or tomorrow, if they see me out there talking and speaking to other people, they're like, okay, Fannie is shy. She don't like to do this. If she's out there, we can make the difference. And that's how we groom leadership. That's how we groom people to fill in positions. And for the culture part, we are we are doing better as a youth for now because I've seen when we go to events that let's just say like any event for that matter, we want to be there. We want to represent. We don't want to just dress in casual look. We want to dress in African attires to go and represent where we come from. So we are grabbing onto that little by little because I feel like the Americans are doing that too. The Americans want to dress like us now. They want to dress in African attires, want to wear the beads around the waist and stuff like that. So now I feel like the youth is coming back to reality. Like we do have a culture here to protect. We do have stuff to protect. So let's just all just work together and make this happen. So this don't die. If that
Fatima,
makes sense.
Fatima, culture is the way of life. Teaching the traditional culture way of life from Liberia to USK. Does that fit within the society? Do you see a clash?
Whew. Yeah, especially growing up in the States, yes, that can happen. And that's why, you have your parents to you have your parents to guide you in that, because you can easily fall into things that this country has to offer, the good, the bad, especially the bad. There this culture, no, this place has its own culture. So no matter what, you always going to it's always going to be a clash in between, with both. So like going to school is the first, I think that's the first test that you even get to face in this country. Um Especially people that actually about Africa and this and that. Growing and that actually, Africa was a stigma, right? When we're growing up, it was a stigma when you go to school. So most of us started shying away from being African, because of all these bad things that people were saying. um and then later on, you get to, especially when you start reading about Africa in itself, um and you teach yourself about where you're from. It makes you even much more proud when you go out to like events. You see how people dress, and most of all, the food is like the number one culture. uh
Cassava leaf,
yeah, I
pasta jama.
I think that's one thing I think that's one thing that always reminds us that hey, this is not from here. This particular Kasali is not. Uh, you came from somewhere great, even though everything is not golden over there, but that's where you are from. Uh, and and another thing too is that the involvement, it was always looked at is the older people thing. Or we living it with the elders, or even like the elders also. I I think there was a distance between. Oh, okay, a gap. Better, better.
Disconnect.
Yes, there was a gap between the older people and the younger people. So most time you will see at like parties, you will not see like younger generations, around. So I think over the years that has changed because now we want to get involved in the leadership, and to be involved in a leadership, we have to we have to come around. We have to be part of. We can't just sit back, criticize, and not and not be part of the change. So that's how come some of us decided that okay, forget its shyness, forget forget about being being young. You, you can respect the older people, but it's time now for us to come in, and that's what we're doing.
So, Fanny, why is this conference going to be held via Zoom?
Because we can't. It's. I don't want to say we plan it in the little tight time, but it's because we can't. We are having our national conference in New York in October. Comes October 7th, I believe. So we're just. This is the first. So we're just testing the water, if you will, to see how much we can grab here and there to bring together. But come next year, by the grace of God, we might make it bigger than what it is today. And we are praying and hoping that more people come to join and make this a great thing. Then we can move it in person. And then with COVID also, COVID's still around. People forgot it, but it's still here. So we're taking a little precaution. So that's why it's on Zoom at this point.
So,
Come next year.
next year we expect in person,
Yes.
showing me how to cook how to tie my lapa on the left side or the right side.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. By the grace of God. By the grace of God. Yes.
And so, Fatima, could you provide me more information on? You spoke about helping with medical supplies. What's the situation like for kids in Grand Capeman County?
I'm based on what I've read or what I've seen because I've not been to Grand Cape County yet. I will admit, and that is something that I have planned. That
It's on your bucket list.
is on my bucket list. I'll have to go. I'll have to go to Robertsport, the Piso. So
It's beautiful, girl.
yeah, that's
The Blue Lake.
okay. Yeah, so I've heard great things about Cape Mount. I know that the schools there are most of them are deplorable. So I can only imagine what the kids are going through there, and even like books, um, school materials, shoes. Some of them don't even have it. So yeah, so that that just inspires, encourage us here to to get involved, and hopefully we go there and do our own assessment and come back and put things together, because we cannot just assume what the people need or want if we've not seen it with our eyes. So at least either one of us or all of us go there, we see it, we see the condition, we come back and figure things out.
So could you provide us more information on this renowned vast script author Bar Shem? Why did you choose him? A guest speaker, a guest lecturer.
So um in the PowerPoint slides presentation, in the PowerPoint presentation, we have we have a category for each Mende, Gola, and then it came, and then we have Vi. Uh, and I believe that the Vi has its own language, script. So uh, to also form a connection was to get somebody that knows a whole lot about this script. So what's better to do is to invite them on, and that's when we contacted Mr. Sherman to do so.
Okay, this is KMTV. We are in conversation with two officials of NACA, that is the National Association of Cape Martinians in the Americas, in person of Fatima Fahnbulleh and Fannie George. They are discussing about the upcoming Zoom conference to help connect young people who are in the U.S. but came parents or they themselves came from Grand Cape County. So. Fatima and Fanny are live via Zoom too. Everything is virtually now. So they are here discussing their upcoming program. The program is scheduled for what? Tomorrow, as you can see.
Yes, tomorrow at 10 a.m.
So who are some of those on the flyers? I see.
Yes, so that's Mr. Sherman. That's the guest. He will be our guest speaker. That is Fanny George, and then that is Afroshay Woodson. We call her AT. She will be. She's the secretary for the youth summit. Yeah, I think that's, and then it just has all the information that you will need for the event tomorrow.
So Fanny, let's go into support. How are you receiving support, and do you need support?
We always need support. I said right now, like I said earlier, this is the first youth summit. So we are our president is he has set a budget aside for this particular event. And he is what the money that was generated for this event, that's what we're using as a support right now. But in the future, we will need support. Support is always needed and greatly appreciated. So that's how we're supporting this event as of right now.
Fatima, I see you nodding your head in agreement.
Yeah, because yeah, this is the first one. Next year, I mean, the next one is gonna be grand. Uh I actually graphic design, so definitely people are going to expect t-shirts, hats, that of a sort, and we will probably have a project that people can support, but at least this one is like an introduction phase.
Right.
You will call it, yeah.
So you're bringing together kids from all parts of the U.S. or certain states.
All parts. If your mom, pa from Cape Mount, come on, or if you are from Liberia but you have a Cape Mount background, yeah. So it's open to every, even people that are not from Cape Mount. If you want to, because some people like women from Cape Mount, so or some people
Don't
like
put me in situation I can't handle you. uh,
you
don't put me in
know
situation I can't handle you.
or ladies that like men from Cape Mount. No, I'm just joking.
They say the 5 minute list is a myth.
No, no.
They say so. Let's
You
let's look
see
at
all these things, yeah.
Fanny. Let's look at what you highlighted too. You said that there will also be historic speakers who will tell the young people about the Golak tribes and the makeup of Grand Cape County. Why have you included that?
It's important to know. It's important to know. I rather have more information than less information. They will shine more light on it, and they will break it down to us to where we can understand and grasp onto it. So I think that's very important that we have somebody that is more experienced in that field, or more educated in that field, if you will, to come and shed some light. Because, like I said, we are a new breed. We are
Missing
just
our
coming up.
history.
Yes, we are just catching up, or we're just coming on. So we need more information to move us in the right direction.
Okay, as we wind down this special interview, we just like you to summarize what this conference, Zoom conference, is all about. Fanny,
Okay. So this Zoom conference is all about togetherness, one, and to put NACA on the map, to enlighten our youth, to educate us, to come together, to know our background, to where we came from, our forefathers came from, our parents came from, our uncle came from. We need to know, like, we need to know exactly the right information, because if we don't, somebody can come tomorrow and say we only got two lakes, and that's not true. So really got to know exactly what it is that we are getting into, because if I'm talking to the next person, I want to give accurate information. So this is just to bring everybody together and just encourage us more to like look into our community, to be a leader. So just branch out there to make positive impact, to bring youth together.
bringing youth together. Fanny Josh said that. Let's go over to Fatima Fahnbulleh, who will give us more information as she gave us her parting statement on this upcoming Zoom Youth Conference. Fatima, it's all yours.
Um, okay. I actually made a mistake in my previous statement. Um, when I was young, we often visited Dia. So I just want to make that clear. So technically, I have been to Cape Mount. Uh, so okay, for the summit tomorrow, basically is for, we welcome everyone to tune in, to learn about Cape Mount, to learn about the association NACA, and to ask questions about both, and we will be there to answer all those questions that anybody may have.
They are officials from NACA been speaking to me here about the upcoming Zoom conference for young people, showing them their identity for them not to get off track of where they came from, knowing the culture, heritage, the way of life, food, and other stuff like that. And the association is also engaged or will be engaged in providing medical and educational aid to their own kinsmen back home in Liberia. So I have with me Fatima Fahnbulleh and Fannie George, two officials of that AUKUS body, NACA, that is the National Association of Cape Martinians in Americas, and they have been my guests on this program. Is there any parting statement you'd like to leave with our audience as we end this interview?
uh okay, Finny, I'll go first. Well, invite we say by Kawe.
Hey,
That means thank you. I just want to say thank you for inviting us, and we look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow to tune in, and also don't forget that the NACA is also having a convention October 7th, in New York. So once again, Baika Nathan and Gemma Way.
hey, back away.
She read her dictionary.
Oh, do you have a Bible dictionary?
Yeah, I created one myself. I'm putting it together.
Oh, that's good. Fanny?
Well, I would like to thank you for having us here to shine light on the youth summit and encourage a lot of youth in the US, anywhere, Liberia, tune in tomorrow and listen. Maybe you will be able to give your input, and we will be here. There you go. We will be here to answer any questions, and we're gonna have some professional people in the building tomorrow to answer any question you have. And not to forget, like my co-host said, that not my co-host, but mine. We're hosting your stuff now. But like my colleague said, we're gonna have some games tomorrow. It's not limited to people in the US. Anybody can win from Liberia here. Anybody can win. We will be giving gifts out. And tune in tomorrow and enjoy the show.
Okay, you listen to Fannie George and Fatima Fahnbulleh, officials of the National Association of Cape Martinians in the Americas, NACA. The group will be having a Zoom conference tomorrow for young people, educating them about their history, for them not to lose their traditional roots, showing them how to live the real way of life. And they have a renowned vast script author, Ba Lassa Sherman. He will also be speaking, and also some other important people will be speaking about the history of the Mende and Gola tribes, which make up of Grand Cayman County. So NACA is engaged into educating um, citizens or people who came from Grand Cayman County, but they were much smaller into the USA. So if you want to attend the conference, this is how you're going to attend. The conference is tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. on Zoom. So get in touch with the group and be a part of this historic conference tomorrow. So on behalf of KMTV, my name is Nathan Charles. We say back away.
Back away.